Rick Perry, who is the governor of Texas, joins me now, and we have questions for you, Rick. You say you're creating jobs. Can the government actually create jobs, sir?
Actually, what a government can do can create an environment where those jobs can be created. Government doesn't create any jobs. They can actually run jobs away. Ask the folks in Illinois.
Okay, now you don't have a state legislature. How does your state legislature work?
Well, it meets every other year for 140 days, which we just finished that about 27 days ago, and they didn't finish all of the business at hand. So hopefully, day after tomorrow, they will have finished up the session and go home and live under the laws that they helped create. By the way, one of those, loser pay, in the continual reform of our legal system will make Texas even more competitive to those people that want to live outside of the fear of frivolous lawsuits.
Who are those alien life forms? Rick, a Time magazine report says that you're just the master at the theater of job poaching from other states. In other words, you're just hurting all of the other states.
Actually, that's what our founding fathers had in mind with the 10th Amendment. They said, you guys go out there and compete. Whoever can put the best environment together, the tax structure that you're most comfortable with, a regulatory climate that is fair and predictable, a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing, and accountable public schools so that there's a skilled workforce, and then let's see where everybody wants to live. And over the last decade, Texas has won that contest pretty much, not even a close second.
Yeah, well, I don't know who these founders are of who you speak, but I have to tell you, you're just poaching jobs. Like, for instance, all you're doing is you're saying to people, let's say my business. Probably by the end of the year, I'll have 150 employees. We had 10, I think, a couple of years ago. If I went to you and I said, Rick, on the QT, I'll move my company to Texas, but I need you to give me zero income tax. You see what I'm saying, Rick? And then you'd say,
I think we can work with you.
See, it's dirty guys like you. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a state income tax. I have this theory.
Right.
I have this theory, Rick, that you are going to become. I mean, this is Texas. You are going to become a real problem in America because you are going to be. They're going to say that you are hurting states like California that's already just trying to keep its head above water. You're hurting New York City because people are leaving New York City. All over the country they're leaving to come to Texas. So you're hurting them.
You know, it's interesting. The legislature and the Democrat lieutenant governor came to Texas about 6 weeks ago to sit down and just talk about how we'd created this environment for job growth in Texas. And it's really that competition, Glenn, that's going to make America strong again. It's the federal government kind of getting out of our hair, the idea that they're telling us how to educate our children or how to deliver health care or how to, for that matter, clean our air is really nonsense. If you really want to get America back to this vibrant economy, then respect the 10th Amendment, allow the states to be the laboratories of innovation. I can promise you, when Rick Scott over in Florida or Nikki Haley over in South Carolina, or for that matter, I don't know whether Andrew Cuomo would come up with something that I would bring back to the state of Texas, but the fact is, if those governors and their legislatures come up with some great ideas, we're going to go snitch them from each other. We're going to go bring those into our state and try them. It's how our founding fathers actually foresaw the country being competitive. So, you know, Washington just kind of let us come up with the great ideas. You all take care of our military, defend our borders. Oh, wait a minute, that's a problem for them too.
Rick, I mean this sincerely. I know that you're considering possibly running for president of the United States, and I'm consider possibly moving to Texas. I don't know who your lieutenant governor is, but I'm thinking that we're not going to let you leave Texas. I mean, I could run for governor of Texas. I'm just saying.
That's an idea.
It's a really crappy, bad idea. Let me tell you this one. Let me ask you this one.
Talk about creating some alien
Oh,
looks.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd make MSNBC's head explode. It'd be great. The 95-year-old woman on the TSA, let me change topics with you. 95-year-old woman that was frisked at the airport, told that she's dying of cancer, she's in a wheelchair. They told her to take her diaper off, her adult diaper, so she could. It's humiliating. AFL-CIO gets the contract, gets to be able to. They're going to organize the airport workers. You guys in Texas tried to stand against all of this stuff, and they said we'll make sure that no plane ever flies into Texas. How can a state actually fight back?
It's actually interesting. We introduced legislation during the regular session, and then I put it back on the call for this session. And it was the threat of that legislation. Just this last week, TSA has started doing their operations differently. They're responding to the threat of a state, and hopefully other states in the country will stand up and say, you know what, we're not going to allow federal employees to abuse the people in our states, and there are a host of areas like that when you look at how the federal government is abusing the people of our country.
Are you concerned at all about the organizing of the airport workers by the AFL-CIO, the security, Homeland Security?
Sure. I think anytime you have federal employees being unionized, I have a real problem with that. You don't have to look much further than what we have already, that those federal agencies, those federal employees that are unionized, at the end of the day, it's not in the best interest of the citizens, certainly the citizens who aren't part of that union.
Real quick, Governor Perry, where do you stand on Israel?
As a Christian, I am taught to support Israel, and I do rather strongly, I might add. I've been going to Israel since 1992. I'm greatly concerned that we have an administration in place today that does not respect the relationship that we've historically had. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. It's one of our greatest friends, a very good trading partner for Texas and for this country. So the message needs to be clear from this country that we may not always agree with what Israel does, but we're going to be standing with her every day.